Hi, welcome back to my channel today. Alright, now for today we'll talk about health. More specific, we'll talk about salt substitute. Now, I'm not used to use less salt in my dish or not to use salt at all in my dish or even when I'm cooking and I don't eat. I used to put like lots of salt into my dish because it's not very tasty when I just put like a little bit amount of salt. Even when I'm cooking, I also put quite a large amount of salt. Not really large at this, but it's also kind of like a lot of it. But then I discovered that using less salt in your dish, well, it's really good for your health. Now, it seems a little bit boring at first, but a couple of weeks later, I can see a start change it brings to me over time. Now, it helps my health improve a lot. Actually, using less salt into your dish may seem a little bit boring. It's dull, actually. However, the payoffs could be as big as lowered the risk of dying early. Now, you don't want to die early, do you? Of course you don't. Using less salt in your dish or even when you're cooking is really great. And scientists are trying to prove the evidence of salt substitute benefits for the cardiovascular disease when used long term. For example, like about 10 years. Now, the previous synthesis tended just to focus on the short-term outcomes, like just only a few weeks, maybe a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then it's gone. Let's talk about the kind of salt. The common salt, it combines of totally 100% of sodium chloride, but for the salt substitute, it consists of 25 to 30% of sodium chloride, then 60 to 70% of sodium chloride. Now 25 to 30% is potassium chloride. Well, even if it's salt, magnesium chloride, potassium chloride, or sodium chloride, it's all salt. So the best way to get the potassium is to eat more fruits and vegetables because that's where the potassium is the most plentiful. It also related to your salt consumption. Maybe you're putting too much salt in your dish or when you're cooking, just like me. You just like need to reduce the amount of salt you put into your dish because the outcomes is not so good when you use lots of salt. It's related to the cardiovascular disease, and the most prominent is renal deficiency, which is not good at all. If the majority of your food intake now is coming from the packaged or restaurant food, then the chances are your sodium is too high. And the few physical signs that you're taking too much sodium is swelling, bloating, tiredness, high blood pressure, and the increased in thirst and urination. So remember, whenever you buy like packaged food, just try to check the sodium contents of the labels, because some of this sodium is so high than you think. Like for example, like poultry or cereals. No, cereals is good. Cereals is good, really good. But you have better to check the sodium contents, alright? According to the new research has found. Now, if you're you're concerned of your food intake, you're taking too much salt, you're taking just like a little bit of it. Now, cooking or eating without salt is good. Nothing affects your health at all. But if you're taking too much salt, you're concerned about your food intake, then you should better seek the nutrition advice from a professional actually. I have to say that at first, using less salt in your dish or eat without salt, it's kind of dull actually. But don't worry, because your taste buds will adjust that within a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. If you're not acquainted with eating without salt in your dish, then you just try to lower your salt amount. Then later and later, you can try to use without salt. Eat without salt, cook without salt. Alright, now that's all for today, and thanks for watching.